Hello everyone, good afternoon. In the previous lesson, we talked about St. Coleridge, and today we are going to study about the poem Kubla Khan, composed by St. Coleridge, Samuel Taylor Coleridge. This poem is for BA second year students. Before starting the poem, we will discuss on St. Coleridge. Briefly, St. Coleridge was an English poet, literary critic, and philosopher. He, with his friend William Wordsworth, was a founder of the Romantic movement in England and a member of the Lake Poets. He wrote lyrical ballad in collaboration with Wordsworth, which was published in 1798, and it is regarded with the publication of lyrical ballad the romantic period begins. Coleridge wrote the poems The Rime of the Ancient Mariner, Kubla Khan and Christabel, and the major prose work Biographia Literaria. He coined the phrase a willing suspension of disbelief because his greatest poetry and greatest poems of St. Coleridge, The Rime of the Ancient Mariner, Kubla Khan, and Christabel, are full of supernatural elements, and because of supernatural elements, the poet coined the phrase a willing suspension of disbelief so that the readers could believe in the in his poetry. Now we discuss on a brief introduction of the poem. Kubla Khan, written sometime in 1797, was first published by Coleridge in 1816 at the request of Lord Byron. It was described by him as a vision in a dream, a fragment. So, Kubla Khan. Who was Kubla Khan? The poet does not mention in detail, but Kubla Khan, it is regarded a grandson of the great Genghis Khan, the founder of the Mongolian Empire. Kubla Khan ruled from 1257 to 1294. He was a great conqueror. He completed the subjugation of China. In this poem, Jandu and Kubla Khan give us a sense of remoteness in space and time. Remember that remoteness is the essence of romance. It also helps in making the supernatural elements of the poem more convincing. Now, Kubla Khan, the great Oriental king, once ordered a magnificent pleasure palace be built for him in Zandu, where the sacred river Elf, winding its course through immeasurably deep caves, ultimately sank into a dark sea, or this dark sea may be subterranean sea. So, a fertile tract of land about 10 square miles in area was enclosed with walls and towers. Next, the poet describes the source of the river Elf. There was a deep, mysterious looking, awe inspiring chasm. Chasm means chasm. The pronunciation of this word chasm, C H A S M. Chasm. Chasm is a broad, deep opening in the earth. It is said to be romantic because it arouses feeling of awe, mystery, and strangeness. A deep opening in the earth, like a valley, a inspiring chasm that slanted, sloped down a green hill across a screen made by cedar trees. It was a savage, holy, and enchanted place. The kind of place frequented by a woman desperately wandering about in the light of a waning moon. Waning means diminishing moon, in search of her demon lover, who, after making love to her, deserts her. A mighty fountain issued from this chasm intermittently. So, the sense of supernatural naturalism you can feel in this poem. A mighty fountain issued from the chasm, and a woman wandering about in search of her demon lover, and many other things which takes us in supernaturalism, in remoteness, in medieval age. The river Elf issuing from this fountain flowed meanderingly for 5 miles through woods and valleys, entered the deep caves, and finally sank into the sunless sea. Sunless sea with a loud, tumultuous noise. In the midst of this tumult, Kubla Khan could hear from far the voices of his forefathers, predicting foretelling a war in the near future. It was a sunny pleasure dome with caves of ice, and its shadow fell midway on the river. While standing here, one could hear the mingled noises from the fountain and the caves. In the second part of the poem, Coleridge gives us a vivid picture of a poet caught in a spell of poetic inspiration. Once in a vision, he saw an Abyssinian maid playing on her dulcimer and singing of the wild splendor of Mount Abora. It was a beautiful song indeed. So, in the second part, we can see also the same element of supernatural naturalism. There is a combination of supernatural and romantic elements in this poem. He would give such a vivid description of the pleasure dome that in other words, he would give such a vivid description of the pleasure dome that his listeners would actually begin to see in their imagination. They would then regard him as a mighty magician, a superhuman being who has fed on honeydew and drunk the milk of paradise. So, this was the brief introduction of the poem and summary. In our next lesson, we will discuss on the text of the poem. Thank you for today.